what we can learn from you, from your years of experience, from all the research, from all the conversations with incredible people that you had on your podcast. What wisdom can we share to people who maybe are only now just starting to wake up and realize, or maybe this podcast episode will be the first time when they will be like, oh, wait a minute, let me think about it. This is interesting. For me, it's a similar journey to you. I grew up on a farm, so we grew up lots of our own produce. We often live very in tune with nature, and we try to, always find some of the old folk tales, the generation upon generation passing on how things have been done before we started really bringing in the chemicals, before we really started bringing in the artificial solutions. So for me, as you, this more of a healthy, natural, in tune with nature life has been automatic. It's been normal. And similar to as I went to uni and I traveled abroad, has been immersed into the more city life and into the more worldly life. I realized that how many people do not realize, be it the food we eat, how much chemicals is in there, be it, yes, the cleaning supplies. For me right now, it is the personal cosmetics. I pretty much don't wear any makeup anymore, and I'm really careful with what are the brands I'm using for, the minimal amount of kind of personal hygiene and hair care and body care. Honestly, my favorite thing ever is a coconut oil. Like I
Ah,
can use it
yes.
for pretty much anything. I
Everything.
love
Yep.
that. So, if there are people out there listening, and if we haven't put them off just yet, where can we start? Because there's so much we could be thinking about, looking
Mm.
about, considering. And if someone is just starting on this journey, they're only now opening their eyes and starting to look at the labels and think, what are maybe some of the quick wins, or what are the things that are probably the most dangerous and easiest often to replace that they can start with?
Yes, absolutely. The first thing I want to say before I even go into where they should start is don't get overwhelmed. Don't feel like, oh my God, I've been poisoning myself for 20 years. Put that aside. Do not worry about that. There's always changes that can be made today that are going to help you tomorrow. And a lot of the easy ones are very simple changes. Some people are like, oh, is it going to cost me money? Well, you're going to save money. So many people spend so much money, and I'm going to start with cleaning supplies. So much money on cleaning supplies. As I mentioned, when we grew up, we used vinegar and baking soda. We didn't use chemicals. We didn't use Clorox. We didn't use all these brands out there. And worldwide, if they're whether they're 409 or whatever they're called on that shelf in that aisle of that supermarket, when you walk down that aisle, and I'm sure this is the same where both of you live, you smell a very toxic smell. And those are all those bottles of whether it's for windows, floors, toilets, ceilings. I'm joking there, but I'm surprised there's not something just for ceilings because they make it so you have to buy something for everything. And you don't. You do not have to buy something for everything. The marketing of these products to make you think things have to get cleaned, and that's only the way they're going to get cleaned. That is their marketing scheme. I have not cleaned anything except with vinegar and water. Is it why my husband and I never get sick? Potentially. So many of these chemicals are affecting our immune systems. They're getting into our bodies and affecting every organ potentially. So the cleaning supplies is the first place I start with. I try to get people to realize, A, if you really want to make a drastic change, make your own. I still make my own. I actually have a product line that I sell that is only sold in the United States. So sorry about that, but it's so easy. It's vinegar, water, and essential oils. It's nothing more than that. And the essential oils, we're very lucky to have essential oils because there's in various different essential oils, there's properties that are antibacterial, antiviral. So you have to do a little bit of research on there, but you could probably even Google how do I make my own all-purpose cleaner for my house with using essential oils and vinegar and water. And it will tell you 7 essential oils I use: rosemary, ginger, lemon, orange, cinnamon, and I can't remember the other one, but that's the smell is amazing. And that's where I try to get people to make a change there because a lot of people are spraying counters all the time and washing their floors and whatnot and thinking that they need to, kill germs on the counters for their kids. And then what's going on the counters? Your kids' hands, possibly a piece of fruit, picking up these chemicals that are also in the air in your home. So that's where I think people can make the first change. It's sometimes hard. Some people are addicted to fragrance in some of these products, and I believe that it's similar across the globe, but fragrance is in the United States, just so you know, which we put the word fragrance on a container of anything, whether it's hairspray, cleaning supplies, laundry soap, lotion. If it says fragrance, that company does not have to tell you the ingredients in that fragrance. So people think it's lemon scented, right? Nothing is lemon scented unless it says lemons. And if it says made with lemons, essential oils, anything made with, you have to be careful of that as well. These are schemes. These are marketing schemes by companies that know what they're doing, want you to believe that it's safe and okay. And they might even be packaging it in brown or green to make you think it's a lemon plant on the front, right? But these are just things that you have to pay attention to. What is on that label? What are you spraying in your home that you're breathing in every single day? Fragrance, again, going back to the United States, since the 1940s, is a law that you do not have to tell what is in that product because it's a trade secret from Chanel number 5, the perfume company, that said we do not want to tell what is in our perfume. So it's a trade secret. And they said, okay, so of course, all these companies jump on that bandwagon and they use the word fragrance. It is probably the number one thing. If you can get rid of fragrance in the products you use, in the laundry detergent that you use that you think is lemon or lime scented or rose scented, there are hundreds of chemicals that are used in these fragrance concoctions. They are made in a chemical lab, and they buy this chemical concoction and put it in what you're using to clean with. And specifically, the other area to really pay attention to is your laundry soap, what you're using there, because that's where a lot of chemicals are being dumped. And then you're breathing them in all day, you're sleeping in them in your sheets, they're outgassing in your home. So those are two areas that cleaning supplies and laundry, I haven't even touched on food, right? But those areas that's where I get people to make changes first. The majority of the time, actually, no, I'm telling you, 99% of the time, everybody can't believe that they were using all these products for all those years, breathing better, sleeping better, not waking up with sore throats, not waking up feeling congested because you're trying to sleep, but you're breathing in all these chemicals that are on your pillows, right? Pillowcase. So, and they're VOCs, which you do not want to be breathing in your home, and chemicals that are outgassing. So it's the hardest thing for me to get people to break away from because when people have an association to a scent, that's potentially what their parents used on their laundry to grow up with, and you think this is outdoor fresh air. It's not. Take your clothes and hang them outdoors in the summertime. That's fresh air. That's how it should smell, not how these companies are trying to make you believe it should smell. So, and if you're scared to do it, sometimes it's hard with families and kids. They get used to it and they think, oh no, that's a fresh smell. None of that is fresh smell. That is dirty smells, we like to say. But take everything you clean with, put it in a plastic bag, tie it really good, put it in the basement. Find a healthy all-purpose cleaner. Just clean with that. What are you going to clean your toilets with? Use baking soda. I use Dr. Bronner's. I think Dr. Bronner's is worldwide. I don't even know about that, but it's pure Castile soap. It's not made with all these other chemicals to clean with. So start with a new all-purpose cleaner. Get a laundry soap that doesn't have all these chemicals on it that you barely can pronounce. Get rid of the fragrance. Test everything on your household for a month or two. See how you're sleeping, see how you feel. And then I guarantee you, you 199%, I'll say guarantee. If you really want to go back to that old chemical smell, you will start seeing how much better you feel. People don't understand. A lot of people don't realize they're not feeling well until they feel better. And they don't realize, they wake up in the morning with a sore throat or scratchy throat or sinuses. Oh, my allergies. Those are potentially all the chemicals that are outgassing in your room. So that was a long answer to your question. Sorry, but that is one of my biggest concerns about changing your overall daily routine, pretty much, and making a big, big difference in your household. And by the way, the laundry soap, people say, well, what do you use? I buy them on Amazon. I don't know if they sell them in the UK or Lenka, where you are in Spain or overseas anywhere, but you can look on Amazon. But the one that I love the most is Molly's Suds. Molly Suds it's just very simple ingredients. Everyone's like, do you get your clothes clean? I'm like, yeah, my clothes are clean and they don't smell like chemicals. Um, but seventh generation is pretty much around the world right now, because I believe that they are. Um, Not the best of the best, but not the worst either. Definitely buy the fragrance-free ones if that's the only thing you can find. But wherever you are in this world, Google it, and you should be able to find something no matter where you live. Go to a health food store. That's where you should start. Go to a health food store and talk to them, ask them, see what they suggest. Because typically anybody in a health food store will have advice and knowledge on laundry detergent and cleaning supplies.
And I think it's a fantastic answer that you've given us and lots of insights and some very practical tips. Absolutely loved it. And one thing that really popped in my mind as you were talking about the fragrance, it's yes, marketing and companies have this tendency to enhance things with even more chemicals. And one of my pet peeves is like tissues with like balsam or some sort of additives. I'm like, yes, of course I want like paper tissues, paper towels, like simple things that I can quickly, especially here in a van, just grab and clean the surfaces with. But I do not need to be putting on my nose, on my body, anywhere on my
Mhm.
surfaces. And I think, why do I like tissue is just paper. It's just a very simple process
Yeah.
paper that should be natural. Like but we don't need any additives. And you were talking about, so many things we try to enhance for the look and the feel and everything that we just add things on to make them smell better, sound better. We can add a higher price tag on their companies, can always higher up the price tag. And also, as you were talking about, it's a habit to break, started thinking about, some people really are desperate to feel the smell of the chemicals. That's the only feeling that we feel that we are safe and clean and really getting rid of all the germs is if we can smell the toxic smell.